It's the craziest car, and if you put it on a gauge of extreme, between 1 and 10, this is an 11. And in the wrong place at the wrong time, this is the car that is very dangerous and could put you in jail for an awful long time. It's a question of understanding and respecting what it is. You can get this car not wrong, because it's very forgiving, but unless you understand it, you'll arrive in places a lot quicker than you anticipated. So you have to give it a little bit of distance to get to know it. And it is about taming it, it's about controlling it. And perhaps that's really what it's about. When you have a car that's potentially damaging of this in the wrong hands, then it is about mastering it and knowing what it's able to do and driving it to its potential. And when you get that right, there'll be nothing faster on the planet than that car, because it's a rock star killer. Aston has that kind of neutral place for male and female. It's not a car that, if she was the sort of girl, she might be in it. We've always had beautiful cars, and we've had cars that are taking this racing technology to the road to give an ordinary driver like me huge confidence in what it's able to do. But this is taking it to another level. It is beautiful to behold, but in a brutally ugly way. If you look at this car, it's a hammer, it's a fist, it's a rock star, and it's not pretending to be anything less than that. It screams what it is. We do beauty, and this is beautiful almost in an ugly way, because you look at it, it's low, it's wide, every clue on this car screams at you. It has a couple of jobs to do. It can be an everyday car, but it's all about power and performance and its potential. Now, Aston is one of those cars where you may not feel you have the need to use it, but you know that it's there. And there's a lot of owners that buy them and go, you know what, I know I've got it there, I don't necessarily use it all the time, I don't feel I have to. A lot of these kind of drivers don't necessarily get challenged by people on the road because they're assumed, and there's a level of respect that comes with it. But this is just brutal. This is brutal power. They build it because they can. They build it because they have the technology and the capability, and because when we go racing, we can bring that all back and put it on the road. So we spend billions of dollars, millions of dollars on reaching levels of performance like that for people who are prepared to pay and go out and race. Then what we can do is put that in a package where we can give you something you can ride every day and have that same experience. Adapt it for the road, but you can adapt it to the track. And we basically take that raw information, performance from these guys who go to the Nürburgring and they go to these GT tracks around the world, and we can put it into the Gold Coast and put it into Brisbane and Queensland, and we can give people the right of ownership into those kind of experiences. And you don't have to spend $1 billion on a race team, you've got it in a package there. They do it because they can, and they love it. So I guess to some extent a bit like, you know, the cliche about why climb Everest, because it's there because you can, and own it because you can. We've pulled from every resource we can. Suspension systems, braking systems, obviously full ceramics to be able to match the performance levels that this car can give. It's 20 Newton meters of torque, 3.7 seconds to the 100, 205 miles an hour in the car. 177 program, absolutely. We've got the exhaust systems basically based out of that. Get better airflow, fantastic acoustics. Every technology we have in one package to give a sports car drive, but that is adaptable. Never had adaptive suspension in V12 Vantage, now it's in there. And the key to it, the key difference in it is transmission. Transmission of this car used to be dedicated to the purist in manual only. There is no manual in this car. This is a 7-speed Sportshift 3 transmission. Through drive, run it as an auto up and down the gears or paddle shift. So you can go, as in F1, 7-speed up on the right, 7-speed down on the left. All well and good with the numbers, but this is a car that challenges the senses in every regard. I can't stop looking at it. And when you're in it, you realise the potential that it's got. My daughter is now a black belt in a martial art. A black belt is walking around with confidence in the dark. That's why they call it a black belt. They could cause so much pain. I've seen them do things to bodies and go, they know in 3 moves how to break that bone, but they don't use it. I think there's a certain element of that. It's like, you've got the potential. There are times when you drive something like this where it becomes very subliminal. You're actually almost not conscious of the driving of it. It's a central, sensitive issue. You know you can hear it, you know you can feel it, and it just takes you. That's what a car like this can do. It's not normal. What it says about you by the way that it looks. Is it pleasing to the eye? Does it sound great? The performance of it, it's like you have objectives for your own business, but then yet you extend that into your own personality, into your own property, into your own family, into your own cars. And I think that's the sort of thing that we try and capture. And there's a demand from our owners that want levels of performance and stability that this answers. It's like anything that's that much power. Because there's a certain sort of atmosphere or stratosphere that is about laying rights and claims to levels of performance. And it's almost like bragging rights to some extent. The forerunner to this, the V12 that was launched in '09, Octane magazine voted it the sports car of the decade. So we kind of have bragging rights to the fact that we had the best sports car in the world out there for a decade. That's what this now is about. I think it's bragging, it's the fact we can do it. My name's Paul Hewitt. If you're interested in Vantage V12S, the very pinnacle of Aston Martin performance, call the dealership, come and see us, experience the car with me, and that'll be enough for you to decide this is the car for you. Wolf of Wall Street, he would want one, wouldn't he? His kind of car, isn't it? Without a doubt.